Hey, Canucks fans. Welcome to the line change. Excuse me. And we have some more news from the Vancouver Canucks. So this is a pretty heavy news day for the Vancouver Canucks, as they have announced 2 new call-ups, as well as someone being sent down as well. But before we dive into that, I want to quickly shout out my sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, maker of this amazing artwork you see behind my shoulder there. You guys can check him out yourselves at gassjackart.com. I do have a link to his website in the description down below. Now, as I mentioned at the top, we have 2 new call-ups for the Vancouver Canucks, as it was announced on Twitter, and actually I'm going to bring it up right now for you guys, right here. There, that's better. So general manager Patrick Allvin, so this was probably about, I want to say, give or take 30 minutes ago. General manager Patrick Allvin announced today that Jimmy Schuldt has been assigned to Abbotsford, who was called up earlier this morning. So he's been sent back down to Abbotsford, and Tom Willander and Nils Aman have been recalled from Abbotsford. So there's that. Tom Willander and Nils Aman have been brought up to the Vancouver Canucks. And now, Satyr Shah sent out a tweet earlier this morning as well, and we're actually going to bring that up as well. So give me 1 sec here. Bring this up. As you can see here, Satyr Shah basically says these moves are cap related to capture as much of Höglander's LTR hit as possible. Höglander's cap hit is $3 million, so the Canucks want to maximize that as much as they possibly can with these moves. Now, here's a interesting bit. Mancini has to play at least a game in Abbey before being recalled due to the new NHL rules. And he goes on to say, expect to see different roster moves tomorrow. Now, obviously, it's not tomorrow yet, but it looks like the Canucks went ahead and made a couple more moves instead of waiting until tomorrow. So there's that. And that also begs the question, could we possibly see Tom Willander make his NHL debut tomorrow against the Pittsburgh Penguins? Sound off in the comment section down below if you think that could be a possible scenario. And as I mentioned at the top, these moves are cap related to capture as much of Höglander's LTR hit as possible. And as I mentioned too, it's to maximize that $3 million cap hit. As for those of you that may not know, those that are put on LTIR, you can use that cap space, or like whatever cap space that player has that you put on LTIR, you can use that cap space to make roster moves, make a potential trade. So in this case, Nils Höglander has a $3 million cap space, and the Canucks need to remain underneath the cap. So that is why they sent Mancini down, because he was the more expensive. He was, I believe it was $775K is what Mancini was making. So they sent that down to Abbotsford. And I also saw another tweet that the Canucks put in a request to the NHL to have Mancini's being sent down be used as a paper transaction. That request was denied by the NHL. So they couldn't, possibly the Canucks asked if they could bring Mancini back up without having to deal with the new rules. The NHL said no. So that is probably a reason why they sent Schuldt back down and then brought up Tom Willander. I'm not sure if he counts towards the rules or not, or if it just specifically had to do with Mancini. I don't know those details about that, but the fact that the Canucks were able to send Schuldt back down and then call up Tom Willander, perhaps that was their way around it. Who knows? I'm not an expert in those types of things. I'm actually still learning about that stuff, as you can tell. But as I mentioned, the NHL denied the Canucks' request to have Mancini being sent down as a paper transaction. So Mancini will in fact have to play in Abbotsford. And of course, they don't play until Friday. So perhaps maybe that is why they brought up Tom Willander. I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll hear from the Vancouver Canucks tomorrow, as I'm sure they will have either a morning skate or maybe even a practice before the game against Pittsburgh. And perhaps we'll learn more from Adam Foote or maybe even Patrick Allvin tomorrow prior to the game, and maybe what the lineups might be looking like starting tomorrow. I am planning on doing a centers video, especially with Filipino now being out. Obviously, the big question is, what is the center depth going to look like for the Vancouver Canucks if Chytil is out long term? I'm planning a video to do that. I'm just finishing a few things on it, and also I'm trying to see if Gerald wants to hop on that, and him and I have a discussion together. If I can't get Gerald on it, I will obviously do it solo. But I wanted to get this video out and get this info out to you guys. 2 more moves by the Vancouver Canucks. Tom Willander and Nils Aman have been called up. Most likely, Aman's call-up has to do with the center depth to try and help that for the big club. And then I'm not sure the meaning behind calling up Tom Willander. Maybe they want to, give him a look. Who knows? Maybe he will make his NHL debut tomorrow against Pittsburgh. But that's going to do it for this little update video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And also, if you guys like that video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed and want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. As I always say, we're all over social media: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. And if you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow, as well as rate and review us. It really helps out the channel, more especially on Spotify. And yeah, that's the latest news update for the Vancouver Canucks. As you guys can see, I'm decked out in my Blue Jay stuff. This is actually a brand new hoodie, just in time for Game 7. Hope you guys will be watching that. Big Game 7. Let's go Blue Jays. And as always, let's go Canucks. And I'll see you guys in the next video.